Peace, health, and prosperity. Everyone's dream. That's what it says in bold letters on the latest flyer I was handed by local Jehovah's Witnesses. The artistic depictions of a future world as conceived of by this group, its leaders, is quite disturbing and pitiful. It's a childish vision of paradise as seen through the lens of white, Western, Christian society. It's a sanitized PG worldview, far removed from reality. But to a member of this cult, this is a beautiful dream, I imagine, which will one day become true as God destroys all the wickedness in the world. The theology, the faith, is nonsense, of course, but consider the general ideal of living in a world of peace and prosperity for all, a place where we are at one with nature. Suffering is no more, all illness is eliminated, no more worries, only joy. Not achievable, yet still it appeals to people. The idea that we and everyone we love can be saved if we would only believe, repent, confess, behave according to the ancient dictates of a certain book. Yeah, this is immensely powerful. And for the 100% convinced believer, it must offer a bedrock certainty about the present and the future, an absolute moral standard. Even as a non-believer, I can understand the allure, but I don't need that kind of certainty. It just, not for me. But it isn't just the religious world where childish narratives are offered up as true with little or no consideration given to the complexities of life on this planet. I would suggest that certain childish narratives, secular stories with only limited touch points with reality, still hold favour, still hold sway in the political arena. What am I talking about, you may well ask? Well, I'll give you 3 examples. Firstly, the idea that nuclear weapons function as a deterrent, or that they are essential to our national security. From the establishment we hear the message again and again. We won't give up our nuclear weapons program. It's naive to think that the UK dismantling its weapons will lead to a safer world. It will in fact embolden our enemies. It doesn't take a genius to look at this and understand that it's a load of bollocks. Holding the threat of annihilation over people in a different part of the world is not a safeguard. It's not a national security insurance policy, whatever you want to call it. It's political insanity. But some people buy the narrative of the government as if it were essentially true. Another example, the so-called war on terror, the idea that we can do away with terror through violence, through military campaigns. A few countries engage in state terrorism, and after a prolonged campaign of brutality, this will put an end to non-state actors doing terrorist activities. All of the terrorists can be killed. Peace and freedom will light up the world. No. A war on terror this is what it really is. It's a license by a government with global reach to wage an unending war on its enemies, real or imagined. Why? Why? Because, for some, sadly enough, war is big business. There are clear economic incentives. And politics and economics go hand in hand. Our leaders have to sell us, the people, this simple narrative. The war on terror is to protect us from the evildoers, those who threaten our freedom and democracy. Insidious forces are always looking for the opportunity to strike. Getting into the historical details and complexities of existing conflicts and clashes of civilizations, that weakens the narrative because they broaden your understanding of the world. Final example, war on drugs. Yeah, we're going to violently target the producers and suppliers. Never-ending violence waged by the authorities. Yeah, we're going to send our agents off to kill the dealers, the cartel bosses. Yeah. Treating addiction as a medical problem, putting resources into prevention programs, this works, but it isn't being done enough. Is the war on drugs really about eradicating drug abuse and production of dangerous narcotics, I ask in earnest? If so, then the United States campaign in Afghanistan has been a total fuck-up of epic proportions. And at home, criminalising drug users is big business for those who run private prisons. For governments, there are economic incentives, benefits for keeping certain drugs illegal. Good business for certain pharmaceutical companies also. What's at the core of these childish narratives? I would suggest it is we are the good guys, our enemies are bad or evil, and the government are saying we are the protectors of our people, and as such we have the right to do whatever is necessary to safeguard our people. And so, that being the core of these stories, so to speak, extreme and perpetual violence is the norm. How do we break the cycle?